In this training, we will be discussing how to implement a functional analysis. What is a functional analysis? So a functional analysis is an assessment that is conducted to find the function or why a behavior is occurring. So the function of a behavior. Below are the functions of behavior. I actually put alone as a function, but the four functions are attention, escape, sensory, and tangible. So you can use the acronym SEAT or EATS to memorize or learn those. But we have alone on here. Alone is basically a way to figure out what is um, causing a behavior. But we'll discuss that a little bit more um, in the following slides. Why is a functional analysis important? Conducting an FA can help us determine why a behavior is occurring. Knowing what is causing the problem behavior can help us plan a better way to help either reduce or eliminate that problem behavior. During implementations of a functional analysis, there will be antecedents, so what happens before the problem behavior, and there will be consequences that we will discuss in the following slides. The first implementation that we will discuss is play or control. The antecedent for this, when you are implementing this, is free access to highly preferred items. For example, you may have toys, puzzles, sensory activities, other things around that are highly preferred by the learner or the client. Since preferred items are available, it is expected for maladaptive behaviors to occur less. No demands are placed during this implementation. And if maladaptive behaviors occur, you would either ignore it or neutrally redirect, like trying not to reinforce with negative or positive tension. Then we have the attention implementation. During this procedure, you will instruct the learner to play. They would have, toys in front of them, and then that's when you would place that demand. You'd ignore all behaviors except the target behavior. If the maladaptive behavior occurs, you would provide that attention and collect data on that. So then we move on to tangible implementations. Tangibles are things that a person can grab, play with, touch. So you would allow access to the tangible, the preferred tangible, and then you would remove that tangible by saying, "Hey, my turn," taking it away. But there's still attention provided. And there are still other toys or activities around for the client that are accessible to the client. If maladaptive behaviors occur, you would just return the tangible that they prefer. Next, we have the escape implementation. The antecedents for this is that there is a demand in place. For example, complete this worksheet. Then you would allow time to respond, or you can say something more specific, like write your name. And then you would then allow some time, about 10 seconds, for the learner to respond and write their name. If they do not do so, then you would use prompting. You would place the demand again, write your name. Then you would model. You can show them how to write their name on the piece of paper and wait for them to respond. If then the behavior still, or the appropriate response still does not occur, then you would place the demand again. Write your name. You would then use the least to most intrusive prompting. You could do gesturing, pointing at the paper, instead of verbally saying, write your name. You could point, then move up in the prompting hierarchy. The consequence for this, if they do complete the appropriate response that you are looking for, you will reinforce with praise. Great job. I love how you wrote your name. Nice job writing your name. You're so good at that. Things like that. And then an incorrect response, you would allow a break, prompt them to say, hey, I need a break. Give them that break and then move on. During the alone implementation, the antecedent would be that the client is alone in a room with no other distractions or hazards. The therapist is removed, all the preferred items are removed, just in a room where they won't be too distracted. The reason for this is to help us determine if the behavior is being reinforced by the client, so automatic reinforcement. By removing all objects and stimuli, this will help us determine if that's the case. The consequence for this would be to ignore interactions, or engage neutrally if you must engage. So those were the procedures that we had for implementation. Here's my summary. A functional analysis assessment is important to determine what is maintaining problem behaviors. Each procedure contains an antecedent and a consequence that one must follow. And once the function of behavior is determined, an action plan to reduce or eliminate the behavior can be determined.